Why do so many people in the world today seem to hate China?
Growing concerns in China.
To watch cable all day. Meanwhile, watch out. China's cyber army is on the attack.
Eyewitness News exclusive. It would be easy to describe the avalanche of anti-Asian American hate crimes.
It started when the woman in the video started following her.
I kind of felt some...
Say that racist again. He's like, communist China?
Oh, isn't that where you're from? Oh, isn't that where you're from? Oh, isn't that where you're from?
Why does the West really hate China? And just like so many people in the West have been raised with the idea that China is bad, so many people in the same countries have also been raised with the idea that Africa is poor and broke and always needing help and aid from the West. But are all this really true? Everything we listen to in the Western media, is it actually true? Or are they just doing all of this for their own agenda? It has even gotten to a point where it feels like many people in the West are raised with the idea of hating China. It's like when you are born, they start teaching you about how to hate a particular country or how to see another country as inferior. But I think this can change. And of course, in this video, I'm going to tell you guys the reason why I believe so many people all around the world actually hate China. If you look at the media today, you can clearly see it. You can see how far everything has come, and it is really affecting people all across the globe. One thing we need to understand is this: everything we talk about in the media affects people of those countries in one way or the other. We need to understand that there are Chinese people living out of China in other countries. There are Africans living in other countries. There are Americans living in other countries. So when we spread so much hate, it affects everyone all across the globe. There are Americans who leave the US and go to other countries for many reasons. Sorry about the noise, guys. It's almost the Chinese New Year and there's so much noise right now around because, of course, you know how serious the Chinese New Year is usually here in China. By the way, Xinyan Kuaile, happy Chinese New Year. It's so busy and buzzing out here today. And there are so many people all around. There are kids. And of course, there's a lot of fireworks happening right now. But then I need to share my point of view with you guys in this video today. By the way, if this is your first time on this channel, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing videos like this. I am Willene. I make videos about China insights, China relations with other countries, and of course, how to bring the world together. Now, the question we need to ask ourselves is this: why are many people in the West raised with some specific stereotypes, like China is bad, or all Chinese people out of China are spies, or Africa is poor and needing aid every time, and creating organizations to always ask for aid from the West? What's the reason for this? Who actually benefits from all of these media stereotypes? That's the question that we should be asking ourselves. And by the end of this video, I'm sure you will definitely understand the reasons why all of this is happening. Now, talking about the hatred against China in the world, is it because China is catching up economically? Is it because China is slowly becoming a global superpower? Is it because of the impact which China has on other countries recently? Well, that's a huge and serious question. But then if you follow the media, you will clearly realize that that is what's actually happening these days. The media propaganda is something else. And this is definitely affecting citizens all around the world because people have died because of negative media. People have lost their lives. People have been harmed because of negative media. That's the reason why I hope that in the future, more content creators, more media outlets can spread more love rather than spreading hate, because we all need that right now in a world which is in turmoil. Now guys, the truth is that China is nowhere near perfect. China is far from perfect, but they're actually striving for perfection. Just like our own various countries. My own country in Africa has so many downsides, but then it has its good sides too. Just like the US, just like across Europe and many other countries across the globe. But I haven't seen so many people actually focusing on the negative part of these various countries rather than the positivity that is brought into the world by these countries. China, as they have been developing over the years, they have tried to develop alongside many other smaller countries. Of course, I'm not saying China is perfect. China is not perfect and they have their own problems. They have situations which might not please everyone, but then no place is perfect. But my question that I always ask every time is, why do people seem to focus more on China rather than on the other countries that are causing much more trouble, like wars, and not handling the domestic problems like homelessness and other societal ills? Now we need to look at it from this way. The purpose of this video today is not to spread more hate because there's already so much hate in the world to go around. My aim in this video today is just to show you all that we can definitely work together for the betterment of the future. It doesn't matter what country you find yourself in. There are amazing, very friendly and good people in every country. Of course, like I always say, there are good and bad people in every country and in every situation, but we shouldn't point fingers at one country and not point finger at another. Let's just hope that one day things can definitely get better for us all, so we can live better lives, to make it possible for every citizen to get access to normal public facilities everywhere in the world, which is lacking in so many countries. More infrastructure, more economic development for everyone. Of course, it's very tough, it's not easy, but then we need to appreciate some countries when they're actually doing the best for their citizens, and that's exactly what China is doing. Some people say, I'm paid by the CCP or I'm paid by the Chinese government, but why do I need to get paid for facts? These are all facts. I've traveled across China for many months, for many years, and I've shown you guys all my experiences, not just myself. There are many vloggers from all across the globe who have come to China, and they have shared their experiences here in China. But why do people still maintain that negative ideology about China? That's one thing that is really baffling. And I hope that with these my little videos that I make, somebody somewhere can understand the reality and of course maybe go see for themselves or realize the importance of understanding other cultures. Now guys, one of the very first reasons why I feel that so many people hate China is due to media misinformation. Of course, if you go on YouTube, if you go on Facebook, if you go to Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, every content creation platform, you realize that there's so much negative media going on. And I don't understand the reason why, but this negative media seems to get pushed a lot more. Like recently, there was a piano situation in a subway in the UK where there was some confrontation between a pianist and some Chinese citizens.
In China, but we're not in China.
No, I have my choice. I don't want
but
my...
we are in Britain, Great Britain. We're not in China.
I say I'm also British. I'm also British, okay?
And from my own personal point of view, I feel like both parties didn't handle the situation very well. We are all human. Sometimes we can make mistakes. Sometimes we can say things that we didn't mean. Sometimes situations can just happen. And these kinds of situations happen every time, every day, not just between the Chinese and the Brits, or not just between the Chinese and the Americans, but it happens every day globally. Ask yourself this question: why did this particular situation get pushed so much more in the media? When I opened my feed, everything I saw was Brendan Kavanagh or the Chinese tourists in the UK subway, all across my YouTube feed, and I'm sure you watching also came across that. That's because negative media like that gets pushed more. And that's what I'm trying to counteract here. I'm trying to understand the reason why negative media like this tend to get pushed far more than positive media. And I hope in the near future, more content platforms can start pushing more positive news and things that can help the world become a better place. Again, for the situation at the subway, I can't support anyone, but I think they could have handled the situation better. You know, we're all adults. Sometimes people might act in some ways that might not please others, but I feel like we should be able to be the bigger persons in some scenarios to move away. And I also hope that from that situation, everyone can clearly see and understand that there's so much negativity in this world. So guys, when we talk about media misinformation, the situation that happened at the subway in London was just an example. There are so many YouTube channels right here on YouTube and lots of negative media against China, against other countries in the world, with the intention of putting some countries ahead of others. What's the reason for this? Well, if you dig deeper, I'm sure you'll definitely understand. So my advice to you watching this video right now is that if you are watching the media, any information you hear should be taken with a grain of salt. When you get something in the media, do your best to do your own research. Go to Google, ask friends, do more research, deep dive, put archives together and make your own conclusions. To not just believe everything you hear in the media, to not just believe everyone, because what I've noticed is that negative media sells more these days. There's a whole lot of good and amazing information in the media about China, about Africa, about many countries in the world, but they don't get pushed as much as the negative media. So you can ask yourself that question: why? Why does this happen? Why is negative media pushed far more than positive media? It's hard, it's sad, but it is what it is. Now guys, media misinformation is not the only point that is causing people to hate on China. Even people who have never been to China still seem to hate China so much. What is the reason? It's so sad and funny. That's the reason why I believe in traveling more to experience the world, so you can understand different cultures, which leads us into the next point, and that's due to the cultural difference. You know, China's culture dates back thousands of years. Different countries have different cultures. Different countries have different ways of life. Just like in Africa, we have a different way of life. In China, it's different. In the US, it's different. Across Europe, it's all different. That's why I believe when you travel more, you can clearly understand these cultures and then be able to merge with the cultures. Of course, that will help your mind to be more broad and you understand the world even better. And that will in turn help to lead you to a happy life. So I feel like there's so much about the Chinese culture that the world doesn't understand, and most of this Chinese culture can definitely help our various countries because there are mindsets that has led China to be able to develop in the span of 20 years this fast. When you look at China today and look at the China of 20 years ago or 30 years ago, the difference is very huge. And of course, the whole world has always seen the Western world as the giants of the world, the number one in the world. But I think there's so much we can learn from China. There's so much we can learn from each other, which will definitely help everyone. And that includes cultural exchange. So what I've realized is this, guys. People seem to hate China because they have a different culture from the West. Their work ethic, the mindset, the political system, especially the political system, because the political system of China works well with its culture. So many people might hate the political system of China, but it's a working system. If you look around China, you will clearly realize that China is actually growing accordingly. And this is also due to the Chinese culture and their own style that creates a certain mindset which pushes China forward. And of course, I believe we can learn from this. No matter where we are in the world, we can learn from this to help develop our own countries. And of course, we're not the only ones who need to learn. Everyone can learn from each other to make the world a better place. Media misinformation, cultural difference are not the only two reasons why I personally feel that so many people in the world just hate China for no reason. Another point is the economic competition. It's very clear in recent years, China has been developing really fast, not just in their economy, but also in technology and other aspects like the Chinese infrastructural development. And so many countries across the globe seem to be feeling bad about that. I really don't understand the reason why. So I feel like economic competition is definitely playing a huge role in causing that chaos, that hate against China in the world. For example, China is one of the highest trading partners with the world, not just in Africa, but with the US, across Europe. China trades billions with every country across the world. And I think right now China is number one in economic exchanges and trade worldwide. Reason why I believe that some countries might not feel comfortable with that, and so many things might be happening, which still stems back to the media misinformation, which I hope can end very soon, and the world can benefit from the advantages that China brings to the table. By the way, guys, if you are enjoying this episode, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe to this channel for more amazing insights on China like this. So, Willene, it's a very sad situation that is happening in the world today, with so many people hating on each other, countries fighting wars, so many kids dying, so many kids' parents dying for no reason, so many countries losing so much, and children going homeless, parents going homeless, parents getting killed, children getting killed, so much turmoil in the world, so much hate in the world. And that's one of the reasons why I make these videos on this channel. Some people might say I'm just making propaganda videos. Some people might say I'm paid by the Chinese government. How much money is enough money? How much money is too much money? If you get all the money and you can't be happy personally, then what have you gained? And like I always say, guys, my videos are only a drop in an ocean in hopes that someday it can help to make the world a better place. I'm not perfect. No, I'm not. I've got my flaws, just like everyone has got their flaws and every country has got their flaws. But then when we bring all these flaws together and we strive for perfection, we can definitely achieve better things in the world. We can reduce homelessness in our various countries. We can improve the infrastructure in our various countries. We can get a good working government system in our various countries. Of course, it's hard, but it's a step in the right direction. After all, guys, we will not be here forever. We only have very little time here. It's our own time right now. Many people have been here for thousands of years in the past and they are long gone. Now we are here. It's our own time. What kind of world do we want to live for our kids? What kind of world do we want to live for the future? I'll just let you answer that question for yourself. Just be a mirror of what you want the world to be for you. And of course, we just hope for the best. Fingers crossed. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing videos like this weekly. And of course, if you would like my weekly newsletters where I talk about China insights and help you to be able to understand baby step Mandarin, if you want to understand Chinese culture, feel free to check in the description below. Go to our website for weekly newsletters. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, this is Willene. See you next time.